Redealing. Connie Smith, Sharon White, and Barbara Fairchild, a new trio creating some great music Tuesday.
Tonight's headlines: California chaos, its alphabetical disorder on the recall ballot. Liberia's president exiled. Will that end the war? Suicide bombers in training in Iraq. Also tonight, the economy, making ends meet, getting harder for a lot of Americans as factory jobs disappear. Doctors ripping off taxpayers. Eye on America exposes a prescription drug scam. And do you believe in angels? You may after you hear her story tonight.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. If you think the California recall election is a circus now, just wait. Just wait till the voting starts. With nearly 200 candidates vying to replace the only recently re-elected Governor Gary Davis, state officials today did about the only thing they could do to make the election more chaotic. They started meddling with the alphabet. In every other state, it runs from A to Z, but not on the California recall ballot. They've changed the order in the name of fairness. CBS's Jerry Bowen reports from the state of confusion.
Day 3 of the campaign, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was across country in New York.
That was my secret. Have big dreams.
Celebrating an after-school program he sponsors. Dodging tough questions, said critics, about how he'll fix California's fiscal mess.
But he's going to have to do it in PDQ, because if he doesn't, the media is going to jump all over him.
Back in Southern California's triple-digit heat, the man on the hot seat said the recall is a costly outrage.
It's an insult to the 8 million people who went to the polls last November to decide who was going to govern.
Meanwhile, officials began assembling the ballot today. The nearly 200 candidates will be listed in random order, based on letters drawn at random, and then each county will further jumble the order, moving the top letter to the bottom time after time. So each voting district has a different ballot. In L.A. County alone, there will be 26 different ballots.
Still with me? It gets better. The ballot itself is in 2 parts. In Part 1, voters say yes or no on the recall, or skip it altogether, and move directly onto Part 2, no matter what they did on Part 1. Remember, this is a California ballot.
Part 2 lists the candidates, and some surprising choices appeared before the Saturday deadline. A 100-year-old, a porn actress, and a recall opponent who paid the $3,500 filing fee in cash.
It's just like paying taxes.
The election may cost $65 million. Orange County, among others, will use paper ballots because its new electronic system isn't ready.
Because of just the limitations of the scanners processing them, it could take us until well into the next day.
But because some counties will use the old punch card system, the ACLU is asking a federal judge to delay the election, arguing the machines are unreliable and disenfranchise minority voters. But you can't count Patty Frierson out.
I guess Schwarzenegger. I'm a Democrat.
The winner of the weekend $91 million lottery likes the odds of a fellow millionaire. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Among the many questions being asked in this election is what would happen if Governor Davis resigned and Lieutenant Governor Cruz Bustamante took over? Would the election go on? The answer apparently is yes. The California Secretary of State's office says that if Davis resigned and voters approved the recall anyway, the election winner would replace a promoted to Governor Bustamante. But Bustamante could keep the job by winning the election, and yes, he will be on the ballot. Davis, by the way, insists he will not resign. Overseas, in troubled West Africa, there is hope the end of Liberia's civil war may be near. President Charles Taylor flew to exile today, satisfying the rebels' main demand. U.S. Secretary of State Colin Powell says the commander of a big U.S. Marine task force off Liberia will land to assess the situation possibly tomorrow. But as CBS's Mark Phillips reports, neither that nor Taylor's departure can guarantee the peace.
He insisted on going out in style. But for a long time today, it was unclear whether Charles Taylor, who claimed he was sacrificing himself like Jesus, would actually go far enough to allow peace to break out in Liberia. As the U.S. Marine Force stood threateningly offshore, but close enough to be seen, the American brokered deal to finally end 14 years of civil war unfolded.
I'm pleased to announce the arrival of His Excellency the President of Liberia and his special guests.
The special guests included African dignitaries under whose gaze President Taylor handed over power to a transition government led by his deputy. The war had raged right up to the moment this deal was struck, as ragtag rebel and government forces fought it out in the battlefield the capital, Monrovia, has become. Taylor's trappings of office, including his limo, had already been flown out to Nigeria, where he's been granted asylum. And several hours after the deadline for him to get out of town passed, he did, but not before making an ominous promise.
I leave you with these parting words. God willing, I will be back.
Charles Taylor's rule over this country, formed a century and a half ago by freed American slaves, was known for corruption and violence. Yet today, as the warring factions embraced each other, Taylor, unlike his predecessors, at least managed to leave office alive. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
In Iraq, temperatures today reached a difficult and dangerous 122 degrees Fahrenheit. And the latest attacks on U.S. forces there killed one American soldier and wounded 3 others. But CBS's Randall Pinkston reports American forces may soon face something worse than the heat and guerrilla ambushes. Suicide attacks by Muslim radicals, some, if not many, from outside the country.
In this Baghdad suburb, a new threat is brewing for the U.S. military. These young men, praying for guidance, are also waiting for orders. The ones wearing white say they want to become shaheed, martyrs. They're ready, they say, to fight and die.
I will fasten a bomb to my body and explode myself in front of an American tank.
This man, who goes by the name of Hassan, is 36 and single. His parents are dead. He lives in the poorest, most desperate section of Baghdad. And he's not alone in his desire for martyrdom.
All of us here, even the kids, want to do it.
The orders, or fatwa, will come from the Shrine of Ali in Najaf. It's the headquarters of the Shia branch of Islam. And the word will be spread by clerics like Muqtada al-Sadr, who claims to have 5,000 recruits for a new Islamic army. He's one of the most outspoken critics of the American presence in Iraq. Publicly, he's urging peaceful resistance. But these young men know a new message is coming.
I don't know when it will come, but it will come from the top.
The fatwa is an ancient Islamic religious instruction, but these are modern times. So the mullahs here in Baghdad expect the order to come by satellite phone. It will give the reason and identify the target. Then it's up to the shaheed, the martyrs in white, to carry it out.
We have no job, no work. I can't live in my home or walk in the street. I don't want to kill Americans, but if the fatwa comes, I will.
Since the end of major combat operations, the U.S. has focused its efforts on finding Saddam, restoring law and order, targeting new terrorist groups. But an army of martyrs is now growing in Iraq, threatening to confront the coalition with more bloody battles. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, Baghdad.
In addition to the cost in American lives, there is also the rising cost of rebuilding Iraq in dollars. Private analysts now estimate the bill, excluding the cost of fighting the war itself, could top $600 billion. President Bush today nominated Utah Governor Mike Leavitt to head his controversial Environmental Protection Agency. Leavitt has already been criticized by environmentalists for his land use policies. If confirmed, Leavitt will succeed Christy Whitman, who resigned in May. The president's overall environmental policies were on his re-election agenda today. While touring an Arizona community charred by wildfires, he called on Congress to allow more logging to prevent, as he says, catastrophic fires. In Europe, this summer's record-breaking heat wave shows no sign of easing. Alpine glaciers are melting. Scores have died from heat stroke and wildfires. And for the first time in history over the weekend, the mercury topped 100 degrees in London. CBS's Tom Fenton reports.
For 3 straight weeks now, wildfires have been spreading from northern Europe to the eastern Mediterranean. In France, they may be largely under control now, but authorities face a new threat. Nuclear power stations are overheating, and attempts to cool them down are only partially successful. The government is considering power cuts. Hot winds, high temperatures, and a tinder-dry countryside have been a deadly combination. But authorities believe many of the fires were set by arsonists, ravaging vast areas of natural beauty from Tuscany in Italy to Catalonia in Spain and an area of Portugal more than twice the size of New York City. Here in Britain, people were betting the temperatures would reach 100 degrees. They did yesterday for the first time since officials began keeping records back in the 1800s, and the bookmakers had to pay out close to $1 million. If the bookmakers lost their shirts, most of the rest of the British are only too happy to take theirs off. But elsewhere in Europe, firefighters are hoping the forecasters are right in predicting that the hot spell will break by the end of this week. Tom Fenton, CBS News, London.
Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, the economy. Americans struggling to make ends meet. We'll take you to a factory town suffering now that the local manufacturing company has closed for good. The jobs went overseas.
If you have combination oily skin, you never know what to use on which part of your face. There is a clear solution. Introducing Olay Daily Facials Clarifying. It clarifies 80% better. So here's looking at you.
Fix-It Complete Denture Adhesive. The strong hold you expect, plus more. A better fit. Fresher breath. Fewer stains. Less soreness. Fix-It Complete and forget it.
For the best protection against water damage, one name says it all. Thompson's Water Seal, Wood Protector plus Waterproofer for the highest level of water protection guaranteed. Thompson's Water Seal and New Advance, the most powerful protection against water damage.
Not one of these allergy medicines can give you long-lasting seasonal allergy relief without the risk of drowsiness. But Allegra 180 can. For people 12 and over, side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or back pain. Choose long-lasting relief without drowsiness. Allegra.
It takes focus, determination, innovative technology. But they're nothing without the human effort. That's what it takes to create new medicines. Like the 3 Bristol-Myers Squibb medicines that helped me beat my cancer.
Today, Bristol-Myers Squibb's breakthrough treatments bring hope to those with cancer, heart disease, and other illnesses.
Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company.
If you want to get a jump on the day, you better get started the night before. That's why there's Tylenol PM. It stops your pain and eases you into a restful night's sleep, so you wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day. Safe, non-habit-forming Tylenol PM. With a great night's sleep, the day belongs to you. Tylenol PM.
Sometimes people bring me more than just their pet.
That's funny.
Ooh, and about 100 of his closest friends. And when pets have fleas and ticks, your home and family might have them too. So I recommend Frontline Plus for dogs and cats. It kills fleas fast and lasts longer than any other leading brand. And it kills flea eggs and larvae. Frontline Plus also kills ticks, including those that may transmit Lyme disease. It's my job to keep dogs and cats healthy. Fleas and ticks, that's another story.
Frontline Plus, veterinarian's #1 choice.
On the CBS Market Watch, the Martha Stewart scandal has taken a big toll on her media company. Second quarter profits for Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia were down 86% from last year before Stewart was indicted for criminal conspiracy and obstruction of justice. On Wall Street today, the Dow closed up 26 points, the Nasdaq 17. When a North Carolina textile mill closed its doors for good, thousands of people became swept up in the largest single layoff in state history. But the numbers don't begin to tell the story of a company town suddenly without a soul and a community stripped of its livelihood. CBS's Mark Strassman has the story in our series about the U.S. economy, Making Ends Meet.
I just don't basically know what a lot of us are going to do.
Cynthia Graham only feels alone. She's not.
It's over 4,000 of us.
In Kannapolis, North Carolina, the Pillowtex plant was everyone's security blanket. Then the mill closed for good.
What's the hardest part of this for you?
To stand here and look at this place, knowing that they could have did better by me than they did after I gave them half my life.
Pillowtex was America's second leading maker of towels, with brand names like Canon, Fieldcrest, and Royal Velvet. Cheap imports caused its collapse, and America's textile industry looks more threadbare than ever. In Kannapolis, these were good jobs that are never coming back.
Generally, when these people go back to work, they're taking a 40 to 50% cut in what they were making in their manufacturing jobs.
For many people here, Pillowtex was their life, and now they're scared. The plant, the job, and that life they knew are all gone. Gone for good.
We are able to help with emergency financial assistance.
Their prospects look grim. Jobless people like Jim Winburn, with few marketable skills and dwindling resources. What now?
A whole lot of prayers and hope I can find a job.
Dozens of people already face foreclosure.
I got to figure out how I'm going to make it off of $163 a week with the medication that I'm on and the bills that I got to pay.
Manufacturing states like North Carolina now struggle to make a new start, to create fresh hope. For families like Jim Winburn's.
When you hear talk that there's a recovery, an economic recovery in this country.
It's a joke. It's a joke. That's just like driving your car in a river and think it's going to float. It's not going to happen.
Not in places like Kannapolis. Not anytime soon. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Kannapolis, North Carolina.
Still ahead here on the CBS Evening News. An unconscionable scam by some doctors and drug companies, and guess who's getting ripped off? An Eye on America investigation is next.
$23,000. Now you can help manage your diabetes anytime, anywhere. This is Glucerna, an ideal food for people with diabetes. Have a delicious snack bar or a meal bar, or enjoy a rich, creamy shake. Glucerna has the right balance of carbohydrates, fat, and protein. It's clinically proven to help manage glucose levels. And for free personalized meal plans, visit Glucerna.com. It's time for a taste of freedom.
Night. It's when most of the world sleeps. A time to reset our clock so we can begin a new day. It's all part of the rhythm of life. But for many, this healthy cycle is disrupted because sleep doesn't always come easy. Fortunately, there's Ambien. Ambien is a prescription sleep aid that can help you get a full night's sleep. While natural sleep is best, Ambien helps you fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and wake rested and refreshed, not groggy the next morning. No wonder Ambien is the #1 prescribed sleep aid in America. Until you know how Ambien will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Side effects may include drowsiness, dizziness, and diarrhea. You shouldn't take it with alcohol. Patients who abuse prescription sleep aids may become dependent. Prescription sleep aids are most often taken for 7 to 10 days as needed. Your doctor will advise you about taking them longer. Take Ambien only when you can devote a full 7 to 8 hours to sleep and wake rested and ready to start your day. Talk to your doctor about Ambien. Ambien works like a dream.
Grandpa, how come you're always chugging Metamucil?
So it won't get thick and gritty.
Mommy doesn't chug.
I found an easier way to take fiber. Betafiber. It never gets thick like Metamucil can. It's taste-free, too.
Smart mommy.
Betafiber. The choice is clear.
At last, a sparkling lipstick that lasts. Max Factor's new Lipfinity Luster. Unlike others, Lipfinity Luster lasts for an amazing 10 hours, even through eating and drinking. Lipfinity Luster from Max Factor, the makeup of makeup artists.
As far as allergies go, I'm a ragweed grass cat dander who met a cat person. But my allergy medicine wasn't approved for the cat dander, so I asked my doctor about Zyrtec.
Is your allergy medicine treating your indoor and outdoor allergies? Unlike some allergy medicines, prescription Zyrtec is FDA approved for both indoor and outdoor allergies. In studies, drowsiness was the most common side effect. Others included fatigue and dry mouth. Ask your doctor about switching to Zyrtec. Zyrtec. That's Zyrtec. Lots of allergies, just one Zyrtec.
In tonight's Eye on America, prescription drug fraud exposed. This time it was doctors getting hooked on easy money with the help of drug companies. And as correspondent Wyatt Andrews reports in this CBS News investigation, it wasn't just the patients who were being taken, it was each and every taxpayer.
This is one of the smoking guns that I was able to give to the government.
It's not every day you learn your employer is helping doctors steal millions of dollars from Medicare.
It's a huge fraud.
But Doug Duran blew the whistle on a fraud he found at TAP Pharmaceuticals, maker of the leading prostate cancer drug Lupron, a drug covered by Medicare because it can only be given by a doctor. To Durand, the size of the fraud was staggering.
This is almost $14,000 a month.
The scheme is called Marketing the Spread, and it works like this. TAP would quietly sell Lupron to doctors for $300 a dose, but then set the price doctors could get from Medicare at $450. TAP marketed this spread to the doctors as extra income.
And they are pocketing the difference?
They pocket the difference, and that's what their sales representatives would show them. There were urologists who told our sales representatives that I'm going off this weekend in my Lupron airplane. I'm going off to my Lupron summer house.
Hundreds of urologists treating thousands of elderly cancer victims signed on to the scheme as TAP sales reps would bring in bar graphs peddling the latest spread.
They were also giving free samples to urologists and encouraging them to bill the government for those free samples.
This sounds like scam school.
It basically was.
It's a federal crime.
Mike Sullivan, the U.S. attorney in Boston, says it is easy for drug companies to manipulate prices and defraud Medicare. TAP and the British drug giant AstraZeneca have pleaded guilty to charges. They helped bill the government for drug samples that doctors got for free. The companies combined paid $1.2 billion in civil and criminal fines.
Certainly the taxpayer suffers because they're paying a much higher premium for a very expensive drug to begin with.
AstraZeneca declined to comment on camera, but in a letter to CBS News said, "We accept responsibility for, quote, improper sampling conduct and promise to market drugs using the highest ethical standards in the future." TAP's president, Tom Watkins, told CBS News the same. But Watkins also says marketing the spread remains commonplace.
Marketing the spread is done by a lot more than one company or two companies in this industry. It's done perhaps routinely. It's not done by this company for the last several years.
Anymore is what you're saying.
Anymore.
Congress has known for years the drug companies can easily manipulate the prices the government pays for drugs. And yet, under the Senate's version of the new Medicare drug benefit, doctors giving seniors these cancer drugs would still be reimbursed based on prices set by the manufacturers. I'm Wyatt Andrews in Washington for Eye on America.
Stay with us here for the CBS Evening News and meet the child who appeared out of nowhere. Some say heaven must have sent her.
You've been waiting to do this for years. Don't let arthritis pain keep you from not starting a little something, not making your move, not getting physical, not putting it together, not spicing things up, not loving the moment, not going for it all the way. Grab some Tylenol arthritis pain with the time-release formula for continuous all-day relief. It's the Tylenol for arthritis pain. Because not playing is not an option.
Nothing gets your day going like the invigorating scent of Zest Energy Rush. But it will wake you up. So please, be considerate. Start with Zest. Get refreshed.
Oh, hey, hi, I'm Baker. Don't mind me, I'm just a dermatophyte. You know, a nail infection. All I want is to get in here and live under your nail. You can't get me with clippers or the surface treatments you try on your own. I'm in too deep in your nail bed. I'll make myself comfortable, invite a few friends. Settle in.
Do you have thick, discolored, or flaky nails? Millions of people do. It may be caused by an active live infection. That's why you should ask your doctor about prescription-only Lamisil. Unlike surface treatments, Lamisil is a pill that works through the bloodstream to target and attack the infection at its source, underneath the nail. In fact, you can start to see clearer, healthier nails in just 3 months. Lamisil isn't for people with liver or kidney problems. Barely serious side effects in the liver or serious skin reactions have occurred, so your doctor may do blood tests. Other side effects including headache, diarrhea, indigestion, and rash were generally mild. Ask your doctor about Lamisil. It's the #1 brand for treating infected nails. Once daily Lamisil tablets. Get your nail infection where it grows.
One of these cars is filled with new Shell gasoline. Gasoline specially formulated to give you better mileage. In fact, we have tests to prove it. So, if you took these 3 cars on an identical journey, New Shell gasoline would help one of them go farther.
Still brushing your dentures?
Florence Henderson?
You're missing more than food particles. You're missing the triple mint freshness of new Polident. Polivescent power cleans away odor-causing food particles brushing can miss. Triple mint Polident for minty fresh.
Coming up in just minutes on News Channel 5 at 6, UT President John Shoemaker stepped down on Friday, but who'll be stepping in as his replacement? We'll have that story coming up at 6.
Here's some of the stories CBS will have later this week. Why would anyone want to be governor of California? A reality check tomorrow. Then later in the week, imagine you're getting important disability benefits and they suddenly disappear. It's a growing trend. And later still, cloned farm animals. Should they be in your food chain? Finally, tonight, another selection from the best of Everybody Has a Story. Steve Hartman found this story in Navajo County, Arizona.
Navajo County is high above the deserts and cactuses of Arizona's lower valley. The people who live here say it's that much closer to heaven.
Okay, here goes.
And after you see this story, you may just agree.
Lavelle Jolie.
Lavelle lives on the White Mountain Apache Indian Reservation. A devout Catholic, she almost became a nun, but decided she'd try and be a superior mother instead.
Civil Wars always take the longest.
She's now divorced and living with her oldest daughter, Jan, and her youngest,
Now I'm
a 7-year-old named Angel.
Ghost. If they were to say, pick one person in your whole life that you've known to be called Angel and really mean it, it would be her.
It was a Saturday afternoon, not at all like this one. Cloudy, cold, and crowded.
Just about the whole town was here for a big basketball tournament. And while all these people were screaming inside, one lonely voice was screaming outside. In the parking lot, wrapped in a light blanket and left in the back of the medicine man's pickup truck, it was a baby, no more than 6 hours old.
I just had to pray that that baby will make it, survive, you know.
Police officer David Johns rushed the abandoned baby to the nearest hospital, where Lavelle was working as a nurse's assistant. She says there was something about that baby.
That first touch, and it wasn't me touching her, she touched me first. And I said to myself, under my breath, I said, God, whatever it takes, I'll fight for this little girl.
6 weeks later, the court gave Lavelle temporary custody.
What did you guys do today?
2 years later, she adopted her.
You have any homework for the weekend?
No one ever found out where that little girl came from, although someone at the game suggested maybe an angel brought her, and the name stuck. But here's the best part. Look into her face, and Lavelle says you can't see any particular race. She could be part Apache, Hispanic, part white, or Asian. And even though Lavelle's roots run deep in this country, she sees her daughter as the ultimate American.
It's an advantage because she can't really be prejudiced.
A prerequisite, I'm sure, for every angel.
See you guys tomorrow.
I'm Steve Hartman, CBS News, Navajo County, Arizona.
And that's part of our world tonight. Dan Rather reporting. We invite you to join us again tomorrow for the CBS Evening News. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, log on to cbsnews.com. With California's troubles, why would anyone want to be governor? Tomorrow, experience CBS News.
Straight ahead on News Channel 5 at 6, John Shoemaker's gone, so who's in charge at UT?
And it was the first day of school for thousands of Metro students. Were there any first day problems? And scattered summertime thunderstorms produced some heavy rain and in some cases some small hail. News Channel 5 at 6 begins right now.
From your news and information leader. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Good evening, everybody. Chris Clark has the night off. The University of Tennessee is gearing up for another search for a president.
But until then, who's in charge? No one seemed to know Friday when John Shoemaker stepped down. And as News Channel 5's Ben Hull tells us, there are still questions about the university's long and short-term leadership.
Who's in charge of the university until that meeting?
Well, we need to look into that. We'll be looking into that today.
It was a fairly awkward moment. Governor Bredesen and UT trustee Vice Chair Clayton McWhorter didn't know who was in charge of the huge university after Dr. Shoemaker's resignation. The governor has since talked to general counsel at the university, which said Chancellor